continuing deeply, Joe looked out the window over the tops of the city. It was night, but that was relative. The city was just as active and awake as ever. Vehicles moved unchallenged down the transport tunnels, large clear tubes, illuminated by harsh halogens and threaded like things, carrying cargo to every corner of the city. Coupled with the streets, packed full of people, they shoved and buckled amongst each other, never stopping, never resting. There was work to be done after all. There was always some kind of work to be done. Exhaling smoke out of the window, Joe turned setting the cigarette out on the sill and pulling the window to. Any progress? He asked, walking over to the large computer that dominated the room. The computer was long with several screens and panels. Normally these would be blinking softly in the dim room as lines of information zipped across the screens. However, now all but one screen was blank, and the panels did not blink. They remained lit a dull red. Hunched around the screen were two other men. Malcolm, the larger holder of truth, sat in front of it on a small wooden chair that alone decorated the stark room, his dark skin given an odd reddish tinge as he slowly tapped away on a keyboard resting on his knees. It was Malcolm who Joe had addressed with a question. In reply, Malcolm sighed. I've tried to perform a manual override, redo it through our custom OS and the girl keeps telling me the same thing. Error 1337. Joe finished for him. That is right, Kid shouted. Brooks, affectionately referred to as Kid by his older workmates, knelt next to Malcolm, the heavy text scroll resting on his knees as his nimble fingers traced over the strings of letters. There ain't no such thing as error 1337. Angrily, he shoved the book and shoved it off his knees before clutching the side of his head. Another headache. Joe asked, watching as the younger male pressed his forehead to the ground while holding his head. Here, take a drink. Joe offered Kid a small bottle of water. Get it stuff away from me. Kid flashed out, still struggling to remain up. He knocked the bottle out of those hands. The bottle hit the floor, swinging as it sprayed water around the room. Still shaky and clutching his head, Kid took a few short steps away from Joe before tumbling to the ground, where he remained still. Shift, Joe breath. Rushing over to Kid, he pressed his fingers to his neck and hands in front of his mouth. Malcolm, go get a first aid or relax. Malcolm waved away those concerns without taking his eyes off the dark screen as white characters scrolled up. We all react differently to it after all. You still breathing? Yes, but then you'll be fine. He took his hand away from the keyboard briefly to scratch the side of his square jaw. The first few weeks are always the hardest. You of anyone should know that Joe reluctantly stood up, realizing the wet slot of his foot hitting the ground. I'll go get some paper towels or something to clean out the water, he said to the back of Malcolm's head, receiving the grunt of acknowledgement and the continuing tapping of teeth. It was true. Everyone reacted differently to Psalm Blue Deal. Psalm Blue Deal being the revolutionary supplement that eliminated the need for sleep. The company Joe worked employed Psalm Blue Deal on an 11-year basis. Once signed, he would work consistently for the company for 11 years with Sodium Seal used to overcome the problem of sleep, at the end of which you received your 11 years of pay and allowed to retire. Well, that was the theory. Joe was yet to see anyone last for the entire 11 years. In fact, from the few other members of the company he had encountered, Malcolm, 3 months into his 4th year, was the longest he'd heard of anyone. The others succumbed to the side effects. Confusion, reduced cognitive function, headaches, paranoia, mood swings, and depression were the most common. Accompanied this, the regular side effects were a compromised immune system and hallucinations. Joe lit another cigarette while waiting for the automated machine to dispense the paper towels. The smoking probably didn't help, but since he'd been signed a little over a year ago, he'd been getting old more frequently. The machine whirled and spat out a wad of paper towels. Taking the draft, Joe took a handful before heading back to the lower floors. Only the hallucination to Kid. After only being signed for a few weeks, Joe had found him curled up on the floor shouting at an empty room too shabby. After calming him down, Joe asked what was going on. I just kept hearing her, Kid had said quietly, staring blankly at Joe. Kept hearing her. I could hear the shouting, I suppose, copy in room 12. But there ain't no room 12 here, is there? Kid was right. The building they were in had no room 12. 102. 112 perhaps, but no room 12. Also, due to certain company regulations, there were no women in the building either. Joe found his way back to the room. Shouldering his strip door open, Joe was met with a sight that caused the cigarette to drop from his mouth. The water was no longer the only thing on the floor. It was accompanied by a darker thicker liquid splattered around, along with the splintered fragments of the wooden chair. The trail of blood and fractured wood lead to the now open window. Standing in the far corner of the room, Malcolm leant against the wall, breathing heavily. His shirt fronts were torn and bloody. Kid was nowhere to be seen. What the hell happened? Bill shouted, running over to his co-worker. He went to stem the blood that was leaking from the side of Malcolm's head, but Malcolm raised his arm to stop him. I'm fine. Shakily, he slid down the wall until he was sitting on the floor. What happened? Where's Kid? Joe asked, crouching down, offering the paper towels. Malcolm took one and pressed it to the head wound. The kid, came around when you'd left. Must have, Malcolm started. Must have been having one of his episodes. Caught me by surprise. Knocked me out the chair, then went to hit me with it. He winced at it all in his head. Got me in the side. I tried to pin him. Calm him down. Remind him I was his friend and all. He swallowed, taking away the used paper towel and his card and left on the floor. He wouldn't listen. Kept freaking out. Malcolm, Bill cut him off. Eyes fixed on him, a slight tone of fear in his voice. Where's kid? The window. Malcolm groaned, slightly trying to stand up. He jumped. Bill finished hurrying over to the window in hopes of disproving himself. Hearing out, he quickly looked down. The usual thick and dense crowd of specs had a small, but noticeable clearing. My God, Bill spoke flatly, turning slowly and sliding to the ground as well. He felt numb. You should. This happened more frequently than you think. A natural end of severe depression is suicide. Particularly when your mind is freaking out for less bit and no death is the only one it can obtain. Numbness quickly subsided into sadness as tears began to form in those eyes. Fighting to hold them back, the soft blinking distracted him from the corner of his eye. The panels on the computer had started to blink again and the screen had illuminated. It's fixed, Bill said, actually pulling back the SOB. Yeah, Malcolm slowly made his way over using the wall for support. He picked up a small screen attached to the computer by several wires. Squinting, he stared at the red dot. She says, she's fine. Running at 89% capacity and rising. What did you do? Joe asked, peering over at the man's arm at the small screen. I'm not sure. I went to do a reset before kid. I didn't get a chance to turn her back on right away. We just turned it off for a bit. No reason. Yeah, Malcolm said quietly, beginning to tap away the keyboard and screen. Seems all she needed was a little rest. He straightened up. His dark eyes looked towards the still open window. Perhaps that's what we all need.